living happily ever after. I kept telling myself that rough patches happened, they were normal. All couples had them, and the persistent couples with strong love for one another moved through them. And then one day, he hit me. The first time he hit me was a day I would never forget. He had been working late but had come home even later due to going out for a night of binge drinking, a habit I hadn't been aware he possessed until after moving in with him and finding empty bottles stashed around the apartment. That particular day, when he had finally made it home, there had been a strange feeling in the air. It was exceptionally muggy and hard to breathe. When he stepped into our apartment, his mood had seemed to suck out what little air we had. He had gone straight out to the balcony, overlooking the distant streets and palm trees. He stood there, perfectly still for a long time. I'd crept up behind him, sensing that he needed to be comforted. "Rough day? Do you want to talk about it?" I asked, only to have him huff and sneer in return. "How about we go out for dinner?" I suggested, hoping it would take his mind off whatever was bothering him. "You should have cooked for me already," he had responded, like I was his personal chef or something. "Is it asking too much for you to have a home-cooked meal waiting for me every once in a while?" I automatically blamed his attitude on the bad day he'd obviously had. So I had simply cleared my throat and calmly explained that I also worked and therefore didn't have time to have dinner waiting for him. After all, I had only gotten off work a little while before he had. "I don't want any of your excuses," he had spat in response. "Just get in the damn kitchen and cook me something." It had been hard to make excuses for him after that. I had been so stunned that I had laughed in disbelief. Not finding my laughter amusing, without warning, Xander had painfully gripped me by the arm and literally dragged me into the kitchen, where he then proceeded to open the refrigerator and work himself into a rage about not having enough food stocked. He pulled out frozen meat from the freezer and threw it at me, just barely missing my face with a pound of ground beef. His hand, however, didn't miss my face. "Stop it! What's wrong with you?" I had screamed. 2 seconds later, I was staggering across the floor from the backhanded slap he landed across my face. Every time that memory resurfaced, I could still feel the terrible stinging across my left cheek. When the whole ugly ordeal was over, Xander had apologized profusely. He had even shed a few tears, insisting he hadn't meant any of it. He'd sworn that it had all been stress and that he just hadn't been in his right frame of mind. Afterwards, he had hugged me so gently, I couldn't believe he was the same man. He kissed my cheek repeatedly, made love to me, and ordered me the biggest bouquet of flowers, reverting right back into that guy I had originally fallen in love with. Not before long, I had almost convinced myself that I had only hallucinated him hitting me. But in due time, that other side of Xander resurfaced. Yet I had been too weak to not fall for his apologies. Furthermore, every time he promised not to lay a hand on me again, I believed him. Until the next time. My patience eventually grew thin, as did my ability to forgive. Consequently, Xander had come to underestimate me. I wasn't nearly as weak as he once knew I was. I had come to realize that I deserved better than the life he was forcing me to live. I had too much respect for myself to keep letting him put his hands on me whenever we disagreed about something. I refused to be the victim. Although my eye and jaw still throbbed from Xander's fists, my heart had stopped aching over him long ago. I wished it hadn't taken me so long to reach this point, but it was better late than never.